Hey YouTube, this is renewalflask here, and I thought I'd make a quick guide, or just a video on me slaying, showing you what I pretty much do while I slay, and how I do my task. I normally don't use overloads for start. I normally either use supers or extremes, and I normally only use a rapier whenever I'm doing dragons, but for this time I'm just trying to enjoy slaying, trying to do it fast paced and as much as I want, just because of the EOC after EOC. I'm only going to be doing skilling most likely, because I don't like how the combat system works on that. But other than that, I think I'll be either working on my construction soon or something like that. Since the last time I made a video, I've probably gotten a lot of skills up, and I will probably be making a road to max cape or something when I get 92 construction, because that'd be a halfway mark for every skill that I have. I'm at 2426, and I have almost 435 mil total XP now. I think the last time I talked to you guys, I was at like 120. So I think I'm moving up pretty fast on XP. At the moment I am ranked 15,914 in the world for my total. And I might see what I do later. After I get done this weekend, I'm gonna pretty much only be doing Slayer, so that'll be all I'll be doing. I'll probably be making guides for range and such through the weekend, but right now it's just gonna be melee. People that the Slayer task that I use would be either Curdle, and if you can't go to Curdle, then either the Polvinch or Zenares. Those are the three that I would do. I would only do Polvinch if you kinda just want what she does a lot of calf lights, but like if you want calf light queen, or I mean just something like that, then I would do that. But if you just want points, or if you just want straight points, I'd do Zenaras. And if you want XP and cash, Curdle. If not, then I would go down to Polvinch. Other than that, I believe that's just based on what task you get after that. Greater Demons I do in Curdle. If not, then I would do it in, I believe Brimhaven Dungeon has that, has graders. Either Soul Split, Bunyip, Unicorn, Monkfish Sharks, Enchanted Excalibur. I believe that's about it on items that you would kind of want to earn or get while you're doing Slayer. While you're doing Slayer, my main focus is charm collecting. I only pick up Crimson and Blue charms, only because I'm already 99. But before that, I would always pick up green or higher. I'll be making a summoning guide later this weekend, most likely, showing you what I do and the new way of leveling it nowadays. But other than that, I have a crossing as my spec for this task. Just I didn't know what spec to use, so I normally don't even bring a spec because you get kills fast enough. But if you're gonna use extremes, make sure you have Berserker, or at least Curses. Berserker has your stats stay boosted 15% longer, makes a big difference if you didn't know that. If you're gonna want to do Slayer efficiently, I'd personally say to go for Curses and try getting Soul Split as soon as possible. So then you can only waste prayer pots on your task, or maybe if you're not too good at flicking, I'd say maybe bring like a couple of monkfish or sharks or I mean whatever. But if you're gonna overload, what I do is I overload and heal back all my HP. Even like if I'm prodding or whatever, I still do it just to do, just in case if I AFK too long on whatever it is, or you know, just in case emergencies happen. But for overloading, you should know that the overload heals you 500 after you take the 500 shock, so it's not too big of a deal. Other than that, I don't really think there's that much to do for quests that I would really recommend would be smoking kills, curses, the quests for curses, and lunars. I'd say lunars because you can use contact and get your task a lot quicker, but I personally don't use it because I use ferocious rings just to teleport real quick. Gear wise, if you have soul split, this is more for like the higher levels. Just wear Prazi unless you want to use Bandos, which that's all up to you. If you don't have any of that, I would personally say just kind of look out for your defense bonus at Evolve, or when EOC comes out, I would say your armor or life points, depending on what you want. Well, okay, I'm kind of like trying to figure it out still, but in my opinion, I think if you worry about your life points, if you have soul split, and if you don't have soul split, then I would focus on your armor. But other than that, I'm kind of trying to get you guys ready for EOC. If you guys are going to be doing Slayer, you guys are going to kind of want to know how to do it EOC way. I might go in like beta one day, or maybe even tomorrow. I might go in beta and Slay just to show you kind of like my setup and what I do. It probably isn't that good, but I don't really expect to really see much people slaying, but I'll find a way. The one thing I do know, I'm sorry about the yawning though, but the one thing that I do know is mainly when you're doing Slayer, it's basically just focusing on basic attacks and just doing that, and then regenerate whenever you can for HP. If you're meleeing, I believe it's Slice and Surgery, or yeah, Surgery, or I think that's what it's pronounced. I'm trying to remember in the top of my head at the moment. Those are gonna be like your two main attacks, but other than that, I do backhand to stun, so I can get in an extra hit or two. Maybe, well, depending on what my abilities are set as, but either that or I use Resonance for healing whenever I get hit. It doesn't really do much during Slayer, so it's kind of pointless, but if you're using a shield, then yeah, you might use it. Why not? It saves you food and life points and whatever. I'll probably be making a guide for fishing my first day of EOC, only because that's gonna be my way of making money after that, because Polypore being kind of shooed away there, I can't really do Ganodermics efficiently, so it's really not worth doing. I'll most likely try, well, I think it's mainly because of Gano being crashed, it's not gonna be worth it. Sorry again. It's kinda late for me, so I'm kinda tired and all. But other than all that, I think let me see, is there any more quests? Make sure you do your barbarian training fully, just for the simple fact that it's a task requirement, let alone as you have to do the fire making, I believe. to get in the whirlpool. I'm so sorry. Should be sleeping instead of making this video. But other than, let's see. I'm trying to make sure I got everything down for you guys. Blue dragons are kind of self-explained. Greater demons are gargoyles. Remember your rock hammer, and try to remember your Slayer gem. If you don't like a task that you get or it's like really slow, personally like live in rock caverns or something, most people really don't do them, but need to stop yawning. But most people don't do them, but some people do. You might be able to find a couple of people or one or two people that can help you. You can do co-op slave for that. My block task that I have are half-whites, Jadinkos, grot worms, mutated tortoise, and terror birds. Other than that, fire cape if you can, if not soul wars cape if you're soul splitting. You can upgrade amulet or whatever from what I'm wearing, but vampirism and penance are really good for Slayer. What vampirism aura does is it heals you per hit that you do, pretty much like soul split, and penance, every time you get hit, it's 5% of whatever you got hit is what you get for prayer. So it's like soul split but for prayer. So that's pretty cool to do. I have reverence as well, just to keep the cooldown low for the drain on prayer. Just because of if you're like turmoiling every task or piting every task or whatever, you kind of want to have something that lowers that speed of the prayer drain. So reverence helps, and also whenever you take a sip of it, it gives you an extra like 30 or whatever. Gives you an extra prayer restoration. I couldn't think of it, so I had to find out. Just make sure you have your pots, make sure you have a lot of prayer pots, and make sure you got at least money for your repairs or whatever else. If you're gonna have another thing, which would be your weapons, chaotic, rapier, CLS, maul, any of the three there, that doesn't really matter. But rapier, if you're gonna do what is it? All but gargoyles and water fiends. Those are gonna be like your only two that you're not going to. But other than that, it's either it has its own requirement, or you're gonna use rapier or maul or Goliaths if you don't have any chaotics or Goliaths. Whip and Regen or barrel gloves. Hopefully you guys do have barrel gloves. If you don't, I do hope you do get it. It helps you a lot on your Slayer task. It gives you that strength bonus and attack. That's it. I mean, I use them. Like, I have Goliaths, but I don't use them mainly because of they degrade so fast, and it's just I use them for water feeds and sometimes gargoyles, but most of the time I'm just using them all though. I need to stop saying other than that. I'll learn to stop doing that one day. And main drops you're gonna pick up coins. I'm not picking them up because I'm just trying to get kills at the moment. Make sure you have your Slayer gems if you can or want to. You can always make Slayer rings. Never, ever, ever unlock Aqua Knights. I made the mistake of doing it just because I didn't think they were going to be too bad. They ended up being probably the worst task you can ever do. And don't be like that guy, picking up every drop like a dirt. Just pretty much pick up your stackables or rune items. Addy items aren't going to be worth it. I mean, if you're really tight on a budget, yes, of course. Pick up whatever you want. I just don't see the reason to pick up like Addy plate legs or just stuff. I mean, just useless stuff. If you want to bank dragon task, like all your bones and hides and whatnot, I would recommend to do that with a yak or a tortoise. Terror bird, if you don't have any of those, but to be honest, it really won't, like, within the time you actually start getting a decent amount of them, you should have either a tortoise or at least a terror birds. So, I'm so sorry for this video being so bad, but I think that's gonna be about it for this Slayer guide. I know I kinda was just doing my task and whatever, just talking, not really showing you much about where they are, but Slayer's kinda self-based. If you wanna know where the masters are, you can, well, the town, if you don't know where the town is, then you obviously haven't done the quest for it, or you can't, or you just don't know. I mean, I don't mind if you don't know, just leave a comment and most likely someone will help you. If not, PM me, or, well, you can't join my FC because I'm keeping it because I have a lot of annoying people that join just to troll, so I don't let them join in. But other than that, should be about it. Remember to pick up your charms, and hopefully EOC doesn't ruin Slayer too bad. And I'll make a updated guide on what abilities and whatever to use during Slayer if you guys really need it or want it. Dungeoneering, I'll make that sometime. And just, if you need a skill anytime soon, let me know and I'll start making the video as soon as possible, or as soon as I can at least. I've really been busy in real life stuff, so if it kinda gets delayed a lot like it did for this video, I'm sorry. That should be about it, and thank you. This is renewalflask, and take care.